Good morning and welcome to the Weekender. It's a change of scenery again. I think you ruled this out last week, didn't you?
Yeah, I find this really comfortable, and I like the audio we get off the condensers.
Yeah, so this is the set that we normally use for the XLBS version of the show. It's another show that we record and it goes out to our Cult of Games members, which is Backstage. Backstage has been gradually... We wanted to do a cult.
Yeah.
We wanted to do a cult because everybody wants to join a secret society in some time in their lives.
We have our cogs.
And so we have this. Careful now.
Whoa, what was that, Ben?
Careful with the signs, Ben. Careful with
Illuminati
the signs.
confirmed, right?
we're still working on the kinks out of that.
So
I
for a
didn't
bit
realize
of
it was that kind of cult.
For a bit of fun, we have been firing up the Cult of Games, which is the new name for our little kind of behind the scenes grouping that keeps the lights on. We couldn't do this if it wasn't for the members of the Cult of Games, the backstagers. They pay a $3.79 a month, and this entire operation relies on that. We don't have Patreons. We don't have any of that thing. If you wanted to support the channel and support what we do, the only way to do it is to come across to on tabletop.com and join the Cult of Games.
Cultists for the win!
Yeah, no, whenever you come over to on tabletop.com, it's still called Backstage, but we're gradually referring to each other as the cultists and stuff like that because we're having some fun with it. I did a little bit of crafting, actually.
Did you really, Brother Warren?
I did, Brother Lloyd. I did a little bit of crafting this week for you guys. I made some coasters myself. Okay.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't recall I did that.
Well, no. I made you.
This is a part works by multiple people then.
This is interesting. This looks familiar.
Yeah, I wanted to make some little Cult of Games coasters, okay, for the guys in the visitor center and in the member suite.
You do realize these are going to get stolen.
Well, look, I hope so. I found in a store a coaster making kit. Okay. And then I got Lloydie to get me the logos here. Look, and this is so I was able to come up with, look, there it is, Cult of Games coaster. So I've brought 4 in for each of us. Ben, I'm going to post you over one, man, so that you can have a coaster for your pint. So
how many designs have you done?
Right. Well,
give me them all.
The Cult of Games has that. That's the Cult of Games. Okay. Mm-hmm. But as any secret society, we have a couple of like secret symbols. So that's the cog symbol.
Mm-hmm. Anyone who came to the 40K weekend will recognize that.
Yes. So this is something that we roll out, that we have these other wee symbols and stuff so that we can start to have a bit of fun at conventions and things like that where you'll find the symbols. Mm-hmm. That's one you're going to find on the toilet doors. That's a little sigil. Uh-huh. So it's like a little seal of the Cult of Games. So we're having some fun with it. Mm-hmm. So here, grab one each so you can put your drinks on.
All right. Jerry, you did a cracking job cutting them out, mate.
You're welcome.
All right, so we're retiring the other coasters.
No, we're not retiring. We can switch them in and out. But I did a little bit of crafting, and I wanted to share it around. So there you go. Yeah,
that was some nice purchasing there, Warren.
So you bust your balls to try and get cool stuff to happen, and then the people that you love just shit all over you.
Now, hang on. You are always the idea man in here, Warren. Yes?
I don't know where to go with that. Yeah.
So you come up with the initial concept, and then it does sort of filter down to the minions.
It filters down to the minions. Do you hear that? There's only one minion in this place. Pardon my French. I promised Lance that I wasn't going to swear during this episode. Somebody take a time code quickly.
International sign of distress.
There is only one minion in here, and you're looking at him, Justin. Right. I have a thing for you. Okay, before we get into the show, well, as you will know, we are knee deep in the Flames of War Slow Grow League. We're all building armies, getting ready for a D-Day campaign that we're going to be launching later in the year. Mm-hmm. Battlefront created these lovely little Slow Grow League kits. for up to 10 players
Yeah.
to get involved, and they get little prizes and tokens and extra cards and things like that there. And they were available for stores were able to pick them up, but I managed to get five of them.
Mm-hmm.
So if I wanted to offer them out to a club, or clubs or whatever that's out there. So what I was going to do is, if you have a club and you would like to get involved in the Flames of War Slow Grow League and kind of work through it together, okay? If you come over to Store.OnTableTop.com and you band together and you spend 80 quid or more on some Flames of War stuff. Basically, the way it works, you spend 80 quid or more, and as long as there's a Flames of War item in your basket as part of it, okay, I'm going to give you a code. It's called FOWFTW, Flames of War for the win. D-Day Awesome. So FOWFTW D-Day Awesome. We'll have that up on the screen as well. So what you do is you add 80 quid of stuff to your cart. Okay, make sure one of them at least is a Flames of War item. And then at the checkout or in the cart page, there's a discount code button. If you put that in, it will drop in one of these kits. The only reason I'm asking you to order 80 quid's worth of stuff is just 80 quid's worth of stuff qualifies free shipping within Europe, etc. So what that means is then we get a little bit out of it to be able to cover the shipping cost to get it over to you guys.
Yeah.
Have we got the boxes there? Because I'm keeping one here for us all to start getting stuck into. But basically what you're going to get is you're going to get these two boxes, okay? And in the boxes,
so I think I've got the kit for one person already out here.
No, you've got the kit for many people out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're in the box. You're going to find the Hobby League. Where it is. The Hobby League booklet, which has all of the details of how you run through the Hobby League. So it covers, the painting challenges you can set yourselves, and the game challenges and stuff. You get your poster, which is your tracker for. You get your poster, which is your tracker for all of the players. So it should be 10 slots on that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then the rest of the box consists of your deck holders and your limited edition kind of counters and stuff like that, which I believe you guys have there on the post. Yeah.
So you've got your deck box.
Yep.
You've got your objective markers.
Yes, I think they win. People win those. Okay.
You've got status tokens.
Yeah, and I think each participant gets a set of them.
Yep.
You get the tactical edge deck.
Yep. So
that's not a single deck. That's multiple of the same cards. So there's a set for each of the 10.
Okay.
And likewise with the battle plans, because that changes up how you play.
Yeah, so you crack that open, and then that gives you the bits of extra spice and stuff that's in there. So if you're a group of now, when I say a club, if you're a group of buddies, the reason I wanted to expand this out is that not everybody has a store nearby. Not even everybody has a club necessarily nearby. But you might have a group of buddies and a few more people that you can band together. And I just wanted to try and find a way to be able to reach you lot if you wanted it. So yeah, nip on over to the store. We have 5 of them to give away. So the first 5 folk that pump that in, we'll get that packaged up and shipped over to you so that you can get stuck in and get involved.
Okay, so they need to be quick off the mark.
I've no idea. Like I said, we have 5 of them. So if you would like one, we'd very much like to get it to you so that you can get stuck in. All right, right, Ben. What is happening in the world? Do you know what? Before you even speak, if this is your first time, every week when we put this show out, now we've been putting this show out for
a long time.
For a long time.
It's over 5 years old.
Yeah, it must be nearly 6 years we've been doing this, okay? We've done 6 years, hundreds and hundreds of episodes, okay? And every week, I'm certain that there's somebody has tuned in that has never seen it before. So let me take a moment, because I don't often do it, Okay, and let me introduce everybody. Okay, so I'm Warren from On Tabletop, and the easiest way you could describe me is I'm the big dude who struggles to maintain his weight, and I seem to get excited over stuff, and I just I can't help it. I'm just a huge fan of toy soldiers. I'm just a huge fan of games. And these days, my gaming group consists of 3 toddlers. So I spend a lot of time gaming with my children. This dude here is my brother. Hence why he's a better looking version of me. This is Lloyd, okay?
He said better looking.
Yeah. Lloyd's claim to fame is Lloyd is a terrain guru. I had someone here in the visitor center last night specifically asking about you, Lloyd, saying that their favorite moments ever in anything that we do is that whenever you get a chance to do some terrainy kind of stuff.
And go big.
So he was in Cloud 9 during the recent 40K weekend build where we were building the huge apocalypse
18 feet of gaming table.
Thanks very much, dude.
So this is Lloyd. This dude over here, this is Justin. Yeah.
Have you even tried to describe me?
So with Justin has been with us. We've been
10 years.
All friends together now for about 10 years. Okay. In those 10 years, Justin has went from a shy, retiring imbecile, and he's turned into an alpha striking idiot. His confidence levels in games has grown. He's actually very good at games now.
Well, 10 years of having damn near every new game that has came out running through my hands. I'm kind of hardwired to learn games now, which is not fun for me because I like playing fluffy, but subconsciously I am going for that alpha strike.
Yes, you just can't help yourself anymore. You just can't help
It's like a nervous tick.
You're even wearing your alpha strike.
He's sporting a Captain Alpha strike.
Thank you to the guys from Hobby Warehouse for this.
It's really starting to stink. It hasn't been off.
It hasn't yet. And well over at Hobby Warehouse.
Wonderful.
If you want to get some fine t-shirts, head over to Hobby Warehouse. If you want to get some fine gaming bags, head over to Cozy Dice. The guys that hand make all of our kind of merchy kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But
this is one of a kind.
He hasn't taken that. Oh, I can't. Sorry, lads. I nearly said it, but he hasn't taken that flipping thing off since you gave it to him, and he's
warm and comfortable.
He's walking around here like a peacock, On the screen, we have the magnificent, the maestro, the brains of the operation. This is the Ben. Okay, so Ben. If any of you guys remember in the UK. You had. Do you remember Nightmare?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was it? No, maybe it wasn't Nightmare. What was that game? What was that game show?
Game Master.
Was it with Violet Berlin and Andy dude in it? Anyway, they had a dude in there called, was it the Games Master?
Bad Influence.
Bad Influence, yeah. Okay. And they had this Games Master dude that whenever you didn't know something, right, he popped up on a screen and he was able to tell you everything you didn't know. He knew all the cheat codes. He knew everything. Whenever it comes,
except he looked a lot like Justin.
Whenever it comes,
is this the one where you could win the golden joystick?
No, that's Games Masters.
Yeah, and that was all to do with how hard you could waggle the golden joystick. But whenever it comes to the gaming industry and what is going on and just keeping us right on things, there's a reason we're the #1 gaming news site in the world, and that reason is sitting there on that screen. It is the Ben.
We're gonna need a bigger screen.
We're going to need a bigger screen. Ben, did you enjoy them bubbles? Did they hit the spot?
You seen him? Yes. He had to get off the seat there.
So much smoke.
So if you're ever wondering where all of the knowledge comes from, it's him. We lean on him, so he makes the rest of us look good. All right, Ben, you're like a hobby hairdresser. So
yeah.
Really,
finally,
hairdresser making us look good.
Yes, well. Yeah, you've got hair all over places that we'll attend to.
Oh, no. Unless it's what you already know.
Do you have a merkin?
And then finally, the newest member of the team, but seems to be like the oldest piece of furniture that we have. He just settled in so much that we believe that he was here before us.
I showed up one day for a game and never left.
This is the Jerry. Jerry is here to basically, he keeps us honest. The man could eat any you put in front of him, he can eat it. We have to put the eating challenge out. If you haven't seen it, right, here's a real treat for you. If you join the Cult of Games, right, there's a 7-day free trial, by the way. If you go over to, if you've never joined OnTabletop.com, go to OnTabletop.com, register. It will then trigger a little series of emails, which is a 7-day guide to OnTabletop.com, just showing you around the platform, how to use the project system, what the places system is all about, how the forums work. It's just a guide on all of that. In the very first email you get, I believe there's a 7-day free trial for Backstage/Cult of Games. Take that trial and then get on the site and look up the eating challenge. Yeah, and you will see you will see
the name of the video is Ready, Steady, Puke.
Oh, Ready, Steady, Puke.
For good reason.
Do you know what? If you take the trial and then bugger off after it, don't worry about it. You will not offend us, but you've got to see that video.
Yeah, that was one of our finest.
You have to see Jerry and his ability to consume practically anything.
Zero care. Zero care on this man.
As my father said, if something's put in front of you, you eat it and you eat it quickly because you might not get it later on.
You get it while it's there. So it's Jerry's area of expertise is in the realms of the grognardish. So he's here. He gives us our credibility. Whenever we worry about sounding credible, we'll just go, and Jerry, what do you think?
But also Jerry, very handy for high things.
That's it. Yeah. I was going to say that's your superpower.
His superpower is he can reach stuff that we have never. He has found minis that we long thought were lost.
And Jerry, in his own right, is a very, very good gamer. I have had some very close battles against this man. I really enjoyed them.
Yes, and he comes out effing and blind, and the only time I ever see him annoyed is after he's played a game with you. The rest of the time he's completely and perfectly serene.
Me in my happy place when I know I've pissed him off.
And then we send him into Alpha Strike.
Jerry's one of the best people I've ever played with to get you into new games.
Yes.
He's a very good teacher.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Jerry, we love you, man.
Thank you. It's been emotional.
So now that you know, now you know who the hell we are, Ben.
Yes.
What the hell's been happening in the world?
I have no idea.
There we go. Thank you for watching the show, and we will see you next week. Bye. Go ahead and check out our other content.
Cool. So the first bit of news comes out of Games Workshop, and it's for an expansion that's coming for Blackstone Fortress, which is their sci-fi take on Warhammer Quest that came out last year. I think it was last year. So this is a brand new expansion, which is called Escalation, which introduces 4 new adventurers and one sort of side adventurer in the form of a servitor that you may see as familiar because they were in another game that came out in America called Combat Arena, which is kind of cool, but they're now available to everybody as part of this Escalation expansion. And this basically gives you a whole new adventure to play out if you're getting stuck into Blackstone Fortress. So if you played through all the stuff from the original game and you want to take it a little bit further, you've got a new story to get stuck into here. And this one is one where the fate of the galaxy is at stake, as it always seems to be when it comes to Warhammer 40,000.
I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. The miniatures are beautiful. I think we could take that almost as a given at the moment. Mm-hmm. For anybody that's never played Blackstone Fortress, Ben, are you familiar with it to give us a little bit of a rundown on what it is or how it works?
Yeah, so the Blackstone Fortress is like a strange, esoteric alien ship that is found in sort of the vast emptiness of the 140,000 space, effectively. And a group of sort of privateers and mercenaries and all kinds of things like that are going there with their ships and their crew to go and plunder the Blackstone Fortress for all of its secrets. But inside the Blackstone Fortress itself, a sect of chaos warriors, as well as the sort of machines and monitors that look after the Blackstone Fortress as well, have been trying to take control of everything at the same time. And so you go through with your adventurers, in typical sort of board game fantasy adventuring style, going through all the different tiles in the rooms, trying to find all the treasures, completing missions, and then going back and upgrading and then going through it again, and telling a little bit more of an expanded story as you go through. So the core one came with like rogue traders, and there was some awesome rattling snipers, little halflings from the sci-fi future. And in this one, you've got a new rogue trader, you've got some guys that are sort of twin with the Inquisition, you've got a psyker as well, which is kind of cool as well.
Yeah,
so there's loads of depth to it.
So escalation is it moves the story on a bit further then. So the whole narrative of the game. Awesome.
Yeah, because it introduces the new sort of set of cultists into the mix, which you can see there hopefully in the new story there, led by their Firebrand, which is their sort of flamethrower wielding cultist leader.
That hood that he's wearing is incredible. That's a really good mini, actually.
The interesting thing for this as well, in terms of what they've done normally with these expansions, is that they also include rules later on down the line, either through free downloads or anything, for you to use those miniatures that you see in escalation in your games of might be 40k, it might be Kill Team and stuff like that, or maybe even Necromunda too. So there's loads of awesome stuff that games are try and sort of tie in with what they're doing for Blackstone Fortress, because it kind of goes down that route of being like sort of an interesting character-based entry point into 40k. So you could start with Escalation and Blackstone Fortress, and then maybe develop that into armies further down the line as well, which is kind of cool. So yeah.
Fantastic. For Age of Sigmar is taking another step forward. We have the Tithe teasers. Yeah. Ben, what can you tell us about that?
So the first Tithe teaser came out, I think it was a couple of weeks ago now, when Games Workshop held their Age of Sigmar Open Day. And it's going to be the next step in the story for Age of Sigmar, because what they're trying to do is something that they're trying to avoid what happened with the old Warhammer Fantasy and, of course, 40k as well, that sort of changed over the years with 8th edition, is that they're trying to move the story forward and have it so that it's not necessarily at this like minute to midnight thing. There's always something happening and developing going forward.
Yeah.
And so with this one called the Tide, it follows on from what was called the Necroquake, where Nagash, who's the god of the realm of death, and everybody knows Nagash, hopefully, if you've played Warhammer Fantasy, he basically turned the entire of his realm of Shyish, which is the realm of death, into this great sucking vortex which sucks in souls from all over the different realms in order for him to feed his armies and take over the world, which sounds deadly. So the Tithe follows on from that, and it's following a new character that's very mysterious, as you can see in hopefully some of the teaser videos if you watch along and check out the links and stuff, where there's another character that sort of feels a little bit separate from Nagash, sort of his own warlord in a way, but he's also he's got this thing called the Tithe of Bones, where he calls on the civilizations and the peoples around him in the realm to bring him these massive, huge mountains of bone to feed the armies. But if they don't bring him enough bones, he goes out and slaughters them in their droves in order to feed the will of Nagash and that kind of thing. So there's an interesting sort of balance here going on between this new person and Nagash himself, but there's also some interesting stuff because it looks like they're going for a little bit more of a Far Eastern influence to things as well, which is kind of cool. So it'll be really, really interesting to see what they do with the models going forward for this one, and sort of where it takes the story for Age of Sigmar going forward. So yeah,
fantastic.
It has me curious because you say Middle Eastern, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, is it maybe the Khemri as the old Tomb Kings coming back?
Well, this is the thing that a lot of people have been sort of
they wouldn't be working for Nagash, though.
Well, no, because the Tomb Kings of Khemri, they were vehemently against him, weren't they, back in the old days?
He came from bits. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. So it'll be very interesting to see what they do with this, because obviously it's set in the realm of death and it follows on from the Necroquake, and Nagash is this overlord that takes control of everything. So it'll be very interesting to see whether or not they do something that's based around that. Maybe they go sort of a little bit more to the sort of Far East and sort of China and Japanese influences, because we've seen that sort of brought up in some of the chaos stuff they've done for Warcry, so maybe they're going to do that as well. So it'd be cool.
We did notice that I noticed at least one of the High Elf models has now completely disappeared from the Games Workshop website, and that was the Lion Chariot.
Okay.
Does that? I don't want to read into it too much, but does that signal? Because.
Well, I was going to say the thing that I think ties into this is because there's a new book coming out detailing the free cities. So a lot of the models that were displaced by what happened with the old world moving into Age of Sigmar were kind of all lumped together as part of this free cities collection. So it's a lot of the traditional high elves, a lot of the wood elves that weren't necessarily from that sort of dryady side of things. Yeah. You've obviously got the Empire troops and all that kind of thing as well. And so what you saw as the White Lions of Thrace and that kind of thing, they were part of this kind of sort of amorphous blob. But it feels like what they're doing with the new Free Cities book is they're going to be trying to reset a lot of that and sort of get rid of stuff that doesn't quite fit in with their aesthetic and bring in some new stuff as well. So that's probably why we're seeing some stuff going in that form.
Yeah, I'm both excited and disappointed in equal measure, because I'm excited because it either A, might come back repackaged and be pushed into something, or B, maybe they've got a replacement for it. I'm also disappointed because it is a beautiful model in its own right.
This one, the Free Cities, I would actually be tempted to start an Empire army.
Yeah.
And that's some steam tanks out.
That's the cool thing about the Free Cities was an interesting one, because it allowed you to basically take things from all over different sort of aspects of the Grand Order of Alliance, effectively. So the Grand Alliance of Order, sorry. It was a little bit like playing an Imperium army and having like Imperial Guardsmen and Space Marines and Sisters of Battle. So it'll be really interesting to see what they do. I mean, hopefully they're going to be bringing out some more stuff to do with the Duardin, so which are their dwarves in their world. So it'd be really nice to see them doing something that's not Fire Slayers or Caradron Overlords. So not steampunky weird dwarves flying around in the sky on space hoppers and crazy Slayers made of fire. So
we are now entering the D-Day German pre-orders. So there's the D-Day German book is about to land. Ben, do you want to take us through it?
Yeah, so guys over at Battlefront, when Flames of War are starting the pre-orders for their D-Day German stuff. So there's going to be a new book which focuses on all the troops that were fighting just after that invasion of Normandy and sort of pushing on further into France. So you'll be following all those different forces, and they're going to be supplementing that with a whole bunch of models, both infantry, tanks, artillery, all the things you need, as well as tokens of all sorts of different bits and bobs throughout all of September and into October as well. So they've been showing off a few bits and pieces that we put into the new story. So you've got lots of Fallschirmjäger stuff, which is kind of cool.
Yep.
So a lot of people that are hardened veterans that have come from other sort of frontiers and stuff and now fighting in France as well, which is kind of awesome. So yeah, it's good news for anybody that likes Germans, because we've had this huge period where there was a lot of support for the US and the Americans, and now it's switching over to the Germans. And then I believe it's British it's sort of towards the start of next year, I think. So,
around February.
Jerry.
Yes.
For someone that has bought Hit the Beach, right, and they're getting into Flames of War, right? In Hit the Beach, they got an army, they got some cards.
Yeah.
Why would somebody buy the D-Day German book, or the American D-Day book? What is it? Is it army lists and stuff that's in there, or what's
essentially they've got not just formations, but they have more equipment in them. So they did a Fortress Europe book, which is just get you buy lists for the four main factions, the Soviets, British, Americans, and Germans. But they're very limited in what they have and what they can do, and they're very generic as well. So with the likes of D-Day America and D-Day Germany, they've brought in specific formations to represent actual units that were there and fighting. Which may mean that you'll see things where instead of just having a generic veteran unit that's got the same veteran skill and the same veteran being shot at, so people are hit on various things, they can start tweaking those. They can go, okay, well, this is another veteran unit, but they're actually slightly less skillful because maybe they've got more green troops in them, or they've got a better motivation because they've been through, maybe they were in North Africa or they were in Sicily or whatever it happens to be. So they've got formations that are more historically focused,
historically tuned.
Plus they also then increase the amount of stuff you can have, so it's not just looking at 88s as being your only anti-tank guns, throw in the 75s and or 7.5 packs, and they just increase, and they're doing this with the books where over time they're pushing the theaters incrementally by period. So I would imagine after D-Day, which just covers the sort of breakout of Normandy, once everybody's done with that, they can either then swap to, and I imagine they probably will swap to Russia for the Eastern Front, and then do the similar sort of thing for that, and then they can cut back to the Western Front and do the advances into Holland and that sort of thing. So each
is that Battle of the Bulge? The advance under Holland?
Bulge comes later.
Oh, it's later, is it?
Yeah. Okay. So Market Garden, so the Bridge Too Far film.
Bridge Too Far.
It's that. So the way they're doing it is previously they would do a book for a specific area. So they would do a market garden book, and the market garden book would have all the force lists in it.
Yeah.
Whereas now they're going, well, if you're playing British, you don't need the German and this, that, and the other. Whereas if they go, this is the time period that we're focusing on, and this book will contain all your British lists, or this book will contain all your German lists. So you're not ending up with 3/4 of a book that's no use to you, unless you happen to like looking at what your opponent could possibly face. Some of us do, some of us don't. But yeah, it just focuses in more on specific time periods and what you would see.
So as
you're actually looking at it,
as a hobbyist in the Flames of War world right now. So my kind of entry point is, I pick up Hit the Beach or 2 copies of Hit the Beach, I split it with a friend, get stuck in with that. For a while there, I could have picked up Fortress Europe, and it would give me lists that I could use.
It would give you generic German list. But now you could, if you want to play, for example, the Panzerlehr, which if you play World War II, Flames of War, almost undoubtedly somebody will have either fielded the Panzerlehr against you or will have fielded them. Or you'll fill them yourself. It was the quintessential, this is our model of what every German brigade will become. It is mechanized, it has this, this, and this. And they managed to equip one, which was the Lehr, as their training division.
Yeah.
And they had everything they had. This is all the weaponry you would have. This will be the first one. This will be our prime one. And everybody else will be modeled after this. Then it all went very badly wrong. So nobody got modeled after that. So nobody got all the half tracks, all the Panzerfaust. But this one shining example of how they wanted the organization of the force to go forward. They were very heavily involved in Normandy. They were supported by 101st Heavy Tank Division, so the Tigers. And they were also supported by, I think, one of the Tank Hunter divisions, so 658 maybe. But they're noticeable for their defense of Normandy, and then pretty much being annihilated, and so you never see them after Normandy. But that, I imagine, the Lehr will be in there and will have all their bells and whistles and that sort of thing.
So my next step then, as a German player, I want to get that book.
Yeah,
I'm going to flick through it, and in that book, I'm going to get an army that I'll say I'm going to have a go at that.
Yeah,
and then from that, I should easily be able to read a bit about that army. I should be able to know what models I need to add in order to build that.
It will give you the history, and because of the way it goes now, where you don't just have an army list.
Yeah,
you have a formation, and you can take one formation, 2, 3, 4, whatever, up to the points value you're playing or the way you're playing. So you can go, okay, well, I'm going to take the Panzerlehr mechanized infantry as my main formation, but because I know they were supported by the 101st Tiger tanks, I'll take a formation of Tigers. And then I'll also take a formation of Tank Hunters, or all.
So it's like it's really flexible, and you're not going to be stuck to. It must look like this.
You can literally go down and go, this was this particular fight at this place. Who was involved? Them, and them. I can recreate that bit, or I can recreate this bit of the fly pocket. Or
all of my collection has the potential, at least, to fit into. Well, generally into maybe a list of some sort.
From Hit the Beach, you can field it as a tank company of some description. Depending on who you want to be, there's going to be several tank companies in there.
Awesome. So I also look like I've got years of hobby ahead of me then. So, well, we're guessing here, so I pick up the D-Day book, and then we'll play that with my buddies for a while, then maybe go to the Eastern Front, then maybe come back to the Western Front, and then ultimately it all then works up to the Siege of Berlin at the end.
I imagine that's how they'll flip back and forth, because with British coming next, that will be another D-Day British book.
Yes.
And then that will be all the forces that were fighting at D-Day. Well, I think the Germans actually get the Waffen-SS book late next year, but that covers that front. So then they have to keep the Soviet players up to speed. They'll have to flip to the Eastern Front. But then that gives a whole other barrel. So imagine the Soviets will get a book, and then the Germans will get their forces that were fighting there. And in some cases they were similar, in some cases they were very different. Just the things that were already sitting over there, or what they had to use. So the forces for Germany were split quite massively. And while you might see a lot of Ferdinand's Tank Hunters sort of based on the Tiger chassis sitting on the Eastern Front, not so many of them made it to the Western Front. A lot of them got wiped out before they got that distance, or were replaced by the upcoming Jagdpanthers and that sort of thing. So I see them moving back and forward. just to keep things, because it seems like they want to follow chronology this time rather than go area, which is what they did previously. Here's all the stuff that happened in Holland. Here's all the stuff that happened in the lower countries.
See, this will be nice for the more hardcore players out there, because if Normandy is their thing, they will have everything they need to make the precise armies that they want, to make that exact unit with the exact markings and stuff from these books, which I think is a really nice way to lay it out.
No, we'll see. We will see. Okay, thank you for that, guys. Right, next up, we have some news for Conquest. Conquest, if you haven't seen it, is probably my most exciting game of the year. The models in it are absolutely outstanding, and we're about to now, come September, move to the next phase of Conquest, which is the Dweghom.
Yes, this is the one that has me excited, because this is the faction I want to play. So these guys are not the dwarves. They're the guys who killed the dwarves and the dragons, and they're always angry, and they're always ready for a fight, and they were sealed off from everybody, and now they're out in the world, and now they're going to murder everything.
Yeah, Ben, what can you tell us about it, mate?
Cool, yeah. So as Justin was saying, and you were saying, there's some awesome stuff coming in September. If you like people that are slightly squat but not really dwarves, because this is their own strange world, then this is the army for you, which is very, very cool indeed. So we got some really awesome looks and stuff over the last couple of weeks, leading with the leaders, as you can see here. So you've got the Holdraig and the Ardent Kerouac, I'm going to say, because I cannot pronounce their names, but they look absolutely awesome. As you were saying, these are models that are slightly bigger than you're probably used to when it comes to mass battles. But we've had loads of really awesome gameplay videos out for Conquest over the last couple of weeks and months, where we've actually played some games with the Dweghom and stuff like that, which has been pretty awesome. So if you are interested in checking out some stuff with that, then we've got some stuff up there. And as well as the leaders, we've also got some stuff that will be part of their first multi-part, well, sort of multi-use kit, I guess you'd say. So this is going to be a kit of Hold Warriors and Ballistae. So you can either use them to be your frontline troops with their shields and axes and swords ready to go, or you can turn them into ranged troops instead if you want to do it with a little bit of difference from range. So yeah, some really awesome stuff coming to the Dweghom. And yeah, if you want to check out some gameplay of them, we've got some stuff on the site. So
I quite like the big shields, because even even there with the crossbows or ballista being used, they just feel like they've got pavesas in front of them. It's like, I can't have a crossbow, but why would I not be hiding behind a shield? Especially if you're not planning on making me move anytime soon.
See, I actually got to play a game with the Dweghom the last time the guys from Power Bellum were over. They are absolutely vicious. Even their range guys. You know the way when you normally get a ranged unit, if they get into melee, they're not as good.
Now it twigs.
No, it twigs. It's Alpha Strike. Yeah, Captain Alpha Strike's kicking in. Yeah.
No, I love the style, and I love some of the aspects and the rules that they've built in for these, because you're going to have elementals coming out for these in the future, where if you are in combat, depending on how many of my stands are in combat with you, you will start taking automatic hits at the beginning of the round, because they're on fire, they're burning you, and that's just a really cool concept to me. On
the topic of scale, just if anybody has, if you have never seen Conquest, I just want to show you the scale of the minis are about the Age of Sigmar kind of size, maybe just slightly bigger.
I've got a Chaos Terminator Lord here, so everybody knows how big one of those is. Yeah. And you have a standard 100 Kingdoms Armsman here.
Yeah. So, scale-wise, they're beautifully proportioned and models. They are slightly bigger, but when you see these things on the tabletop, they're just, incredible.
Here's a Stormcast Eternal. Yeah. Just for more skill. So that's their standard warrior.
Yeah, set them on the ground side by side, just so as we can actually see it. So
all right.
There you go.
One of them's on a really big base.
We'll get you. We'll put in a photograph.
Speaking of really big, now give me the cavalry.
These two models are what made me fall in love with this game.
So this is your mounted noble lord.
Yeah,
because you can see he's a bit more fancy and he is huge. Yeah. So this is only their medium cavalry. There's even heavier cavalry.
Yeah, there's heavier than this. The cavalry in this game just the models are just beautiful. The sculpts are amazing. There's so much flow to them. But what I particularly like about them is the models in this game feel really, really solid. And I'm not the most delicate of people, as you can imagine. So this is what has got me so excited about it. And I've played the game against Captain Alpha Strike here, and I've enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to getting more in depth with it as it grows. No.
But the game has a really nice churn to it.
I nearly won, and then he cheated.
No, the game has a really nice churn to it as well for the way your battle actually flows, because you'll begin your battle with your light units on the table. They'll start skirmishing and having a fight. Your deployment zone actually expands as you push up the table against your opponent. Then your mediums start rolling in, your main battle lines start to form, and they start having at each other. And then the end game comes whenever the heavy units start turning up near the end of the game. And stuff dies really quickly in this game.
What are the archers like in this? Because usually I struggle with archer units, because I always think archer units should be far more annoying to people than what they are in games.
Oh, trust me, the archers can be super annoying.
The game is super killy, Lloyd. The game is super killy. I played against, like I said, played against Justin, and I was actually shocked. Now, you know, after 10 years of doing this, you know, I don't often get shocked, but you know, you look at a game and you go, I hope it's killy. I was shocked at how killy this
killy
was.
Games because I don't like back to the archers, for example. If the archers are on the table and your opponent's just ignoring them because they don't need to deal with them,
no,
that annoys me.
Yeah, in this game, you can't ignore anything in this game.
Well, as soon as you get onto, say, someone's flank or even into the rear, the damage output you're doing is just so much higher. If you let someone get around you, you're not going to enjoy it. But like I was saying, even if you try and charge those ranged units, they've still got enough kick to them to do damage in melee. Yeah. It's not just, oh crap, my ranged unit's in melee, it's just dead now, it's useless now. No, they can fight the battle out.
And what it does is the fact that there is an overall effectiveness with the units, it means that you can create those true dilemmas where if he stands and in the one place and takes all the archers and stuff, he's gonna get punished. If he moves and ends up in range of something that you're about to charge him with, then he's going to get punished. So you can actually start to really put your opponent under pressure. It's not one of these games where he's just going to be able to sit back and just ignore that unit.
Yeah. And there are times where you are actually quite happy to charge with your ranged units as well. I'm in the rear. Let's get stuck in here. They're going to kill a lot.
Yeah, it is interesting, I've got to say. Okay, next up, Monster Apocalypse. We've got the apes, Ben. Boop.
Yeah, so if anyone likes their sort of larger-than-life comic book style kaiju adventures on the tabletop, then the Monster Apocalypse from Privateer Press, which got a revamp effectively, which is pretty awesome. So instead of them being the pre-painted images that you might have seen in the first edition of the game, they're all ones that you build yourself and paint yourself. Yeah. And the new sort of horde of stuff that came out over the last couple of weeks has been focused on the Empire of the Apes. So this kind of sounds pretty awesome. And they're led by General Hondo, and King Kondo, which is pretty cool. So you've got General Hondo there, who is carrying a massive missile truck on his shoulder to blow people up. He's got a medal made out of bust and all sorts of weird stuff there too. Then you've got King Kondo, who's a little bit more of the feral sort of King Kong style creature that has been sort of chained up by some of his allies in the past and sort of unleashed on the battlefield. But they decided, we're probably just going to skip the chaining up bit and just sort of let him go loose. And he has an insane hatred of the alien forces that are trying to take over the Earth. And this is your best hope at saving everybody on the planet. And as well as that, they're also supported by some sort of ape troops as well. So these sort of follow the same view of sort of General Hondo and that kind of thing. They're all carrying loads of huge bits of human technology and using it in their game. So you've got a big artillery gun that some of them are carrying and that kind of thing too, which is pretty cool. So you've got some awesome ape troops in the mix as well. Yeah. And this is also I believe there's two sets of ape troops in there.
Yeah. So you've got the rocket apes, man.
Yes, which are very cool. So you've got the assault apes that are going to be leaping into combat with their big clampers, and then you've got the guy with basically the SAM sight on the back of his butt.
It's an ape Katusha. Yeah.
I love the pose though, because he's just sitting there going, when can I press the button? When can I press the button?
Let me press the button.
What sort of scale are these?
These are pretty big.
Just do that. Like the main one, you would guess is...
So your main guy stands about 4 to 5 inches tall.
Yeah.
And then your little guys, I would say you're probably looking at around maybe inch tall, maybe.
Oh, maybe more than that. Maybe more than that. But the scale of the game is enormous. You know, it's like it is monsters. It is your Godzilla kind of TV kind of Mothra kind of thing taking place, and there's terrain and everything for Monster Apocalypse now.
And
they've been doing lots of resin buildings recently.
Yeah.
And it's been tied up with the another preview of what's coming in the future. And as I was saying to these guys a little bit before we started filming, this is effectively the thing that I would have bought immediately if I was in Toys R Us back when I was a kid.
Yeah.
It's Cyber Khan, which is basically all of the best things, dinosaurs and robots mashed together into something epic.
Mecha Godzilla.
That Mecha Godzilla, that is awesome. Is there any other previews?
No more on this article.
The last one? Oh
No.
God, that is just. We've got to get a game of that on. I haven't had a chance to play Monster Apocalypse, but you've got a couple of games.
Yeah, I think it was it myself and Ryan did a couple of live streams of it.
Yeah,
very interesting. Although we did only play it with one monster aside, and you can play this with up to 3 big monsters aside.
Yeah,
which really I think is going to change the dynamics of how you play. Because I mean, like, when we were playing it, it kind of went a little bit luchador, a little bit wrestling. We were just power slamming each other into buildings to do extra damage.
Like Rampage.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, next up we have for SPQR. Now, SPQR is it's a historical skirmish game that we've been following coming out of Warlord. We've got some new miniatures that have come out that we can use as Gauls, Ben. Yeah?
These are the ones that Justin will love.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, look.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go, Justin. There we go. Click on it there. Click on it there.
Ben specifically told me not to click on it.
No, that's okay. Go on. You can click on it for us.
All right.
I'm having
just for you, Warren.
difficulty seeing. Oh, there they go.
There you go.
Yeah. So this is there's a whole bunch of different sets of models coming out for this.
I can see their sets, yes.
But they're led by the sky-clad Gauls.
I think the unclad Gauls, you might call them.
I think this is why they're called sky-clad, because there's nothing but the sky on them.
And these were obviously the Gallic warriors back in the ancient days who decided that their faith in pure savagery would protect them in battle. And they would also scare the bejesus out of the Romans when they charged through the woods with their tackle out, obviously.
Really?
Yes. Justin, how are you feeling right now, man? Are you itching for the clippers?
Where's my clippers? I need my clippers like right now. Do you see this? This is a nervous twitch. This is my hand doing a nervous twitch for the clippers.
Can I just say, right? It's I don't think it matters what game you play. Okay. I'm going to be ordering these, okay? Right. Because people will know that Jerry has got me on this.
Well,
this
hang on,
thing
they're going to come into the store anyway.
Yeah, Jerry has got me on this thing of building fantasy armies, just fantasy armies that we can throw down to use for Age of Saga or Age of Magic and Erdogan.
Age of Fantasy with a little bit of magic.
Age of Fantasy with a little bit of magic. We're going to discuss that in tomorrow's show. But I'm thinking, Justin, a fantasy naked dude army.
Right.
And I'm going to get you.
Why is this a thing?
Because you haven't got involved with me yet in building a fantasy army, okay? Jerry and Lloyd and community members, Lena and Tony. Hang on, what?
I'm going to call you a liar.
Right, well, go ahead then.
Because I 3D printed every single base you're using in them.
Oh, that's not the same thing, for goodness sake. You know, it's right, so...
I like the idea of this, because we could make this a really hard hitting unit.
I think the harder the better, Justin, for this particular unit.
So I juvenile, think, guys. So
right, so here's what we're going to do, right? Now, in tomorrow's show... Okay, we're going to be doing a big community thing where the Dwarven army is now we're going to throw it out to the community to get them to help us make some decisions on the direction that we're going to go with the Dwarven army. Okay, but after that, the next army was going to be Mongols, okay, but now it's no longer going to be Mongols, okay?
Right.
Now we're going to do Justin's ultimate fantasy army.
You so
unless we can find some naked Mongols.
Unless we, dongles, Lloyd. So
if you want to do a naked dude army, that's fine.
No.
Just so you know, I will be clothing them.
You're going to do with me this dude army.
Thank you, but no, I'm not planning to play Saga Age of Magic.
What about but we make these generic, man. These are generic fantasy armies.
They can find anything. They can go into the free city.
I have other armies to work on. Sorry, boss.
Yes, but this is an army. This is an army that you can truly fantasize about, Justin. Okay, so let me just. I'm curious now. I just want to pose a couple of quick questions. Okay,
right.
So, what kind of fantasy theme?
Let's see them big again.
Yeah, but bring them up big there till we see. Is there any more of them, or is this just?
No, there are more in the set, but they are not nude.
Okay, I wonder how many pieces they come in.
They're probably single piece. Knowing Warlord, this is a single piece metal cast.
Okay. So,
well, no, the thrusting spears would be separate.
Oh yeah,
they're actually made in the new resin.
The new resin.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah,
but so how would you theme it, Justin? Okay, if you had to come up with a
if I had to theme it,
yeah. Well, like the wild men of the north, like wildlings kind of a thing, yeah?
No, you see, I would just have one insane, crazy wizard who has raised these creatures from the ether.
So he's raised these creatures, okay.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Is that their special attack?
I have no idea. I haven't seen the battle boards or anything for them. But narratively, just have it that a wizard has just drawn them from the ether. They have no clothes, no nothing. They're on a battlefield.
Did he raise them all at the same time, or did he grow each one individually?
I have no idea. And Warren said he was going to behave in this episode, didn't he, folks? He was going to behave.
Okay, look, guys. Do you know what? I've spent this entire episode trying to convince you to join our Cult of Games. So in a future episode of the Cult of Games XLVS, okay, I need as many of you as possible to join us as we all help Justin create this raised army. This is going to be amazing. I can't wait.
Right, there's more for SPQR though.
Oh, okay, right. Okay.
So yeah, as well as the Skyclad Gauls, there's also some options for sort of a little bit more of a skirmishing element of the game. So
I like the tartan.
Too many
times.
Yes,
I like the
tartan. We've got javelins and archers in there as well, so if you want to add a little bit more of a ranged aspect to the game. And just like Lloyd, I believe that ranged people get kind of left out of war games. I always feel like archers feel like they're just duds, effectively. But yeah, you've got some javelins and archers there, plus there's some war dogs, which is pretty awesome. So
I like dogs.
If you want to try and disrupt the formations of your enemy by charging the dogs in and stuff, as I used to do in Total War, then you've got some really cool options there for the war dogs. And as I say, they're all made in this new Warlord resin, which they've been using for a lot of the SPQR stuff.
And we have Numidians.
Yeah, so we've also got some Numidian cavalry, which can be taken as sort of your mercenary forces in the game. So if anyone's been watching any of the games that Jerry's been playing against Charlie from Warlord, there was actually some sort of slingers and sort of auxiliary brought in there to kind of help him against the Spartans, who are just rampaging everything. Spoilers. But yeah, some awesome stuff in there. This is kind of like a mercenary at the game, so you can sort of add to the additional points you've got against your opponents and things. And the Numidians sort of give you that sort of little bit more of a hammer blow with their cavalry there, which is pretty cool, as well as some sort of skirmishes to sort of get something to the mix as well. So, yeah.
Love it. I have a challenge for you. Okay. The dogs, can anybody name the breed?
Yes.
Let me call them up.
I thought you could name the breed, Jerry, but let's just see.
I assume I think I know. So.
Well, Ben, do you want to have a crack at it? What is the breed?
Are they wolfhounds? Irish wolfhounds?
Yeah, they look like it.
Yep. There you go. Well done, Ben. Irish wolfhounds.
Mm-hmm. So one of the biggest dogs in the world.
I know this because he has loads of them. He keeps setting them on me.
Mm-hmm.
got a few.
Right, so that's your lot on the SPQR. We'd like to do a shout out to a friend of On Tabletop, two friends of On Tabletop, and that's James and Sophie. James M. Hewitt and Sophie Williams. Sophie Williams.
Yeah.
I'm just making absolutely certain I've got it right. Mm-hmm. They have been running an excellent course as Needy Cat Games. It's the design course on how to design games. So if you've ever fancied becoming a game designer and you want to learn about all of the pitfalls and all of the opportunities and how it all works, this is for you. Ben, can you fill us in?
Yeah, so they ran a course that ran over 3 different sort of separate sort of sessions earlier in the year, and it completely sold out, and it was a big success. And so they decided to try and give more people an opportunity to dive in and do it themselves, sort of get involved with this, because it's going to be 3 different courses following starting your game from the very basics through to refining the product and sort of doing all the play testing, and then finally to the aspects of finishing your game and getting it out there to publishers and sort of trying to get it into the world through Kickstarter and all that kind of thing as well. The courses are going to run between September and November. You can come up to just one course if you want to. You can go to all 3 of them if you want to try and get a little bit more of an overall feel of everything. But they come with food and drink during the day. You get to obviously talk to James and Sophie about all the games they've made. So obviously they've done Hellboy, and James has been involved with a whole bunch of stuff when it came to Games Workshop back in the day as well, which is really cool. So Blood Bowl and that kind of thing too, Necromunda as well. So if you want to get involved with that, go and make sure you can get yourself some tickets, because they will probably sell out quite fast, because they've been very, very popular. We see a lot of people talking about them. The other cool thing as well is that if you go up to the courses and you want to get involved with it, and you sit down and you've sort of taken all the information and you want to learn more about it, they are then going to put up videos for other sessions onto their YouTube and that kind of thing later on down the line as well. So if you want to find out some stuff that maybe you missed out on, or maybe you went to the one about starting, but you want to learn more about refining and finishing a game, all the video stuff will be up later in the sort of period of time after the course as well. So, yeah.
Awesome. And as goes out to every game designer out there, if you end up doing a course like that and going off and designing a game, be sure to keep us posted on it so that we can help tell the world about it. So
is the Needy Cat Games website then the place to go to if you're interested?
Yeah, so they have a link which we'll make sure to put into the show notes, so you can go through to go and check out all their tickets and videos and all that kind of thing. We've got a whole bunch of testimonials on there as well. So if you don't want to take our word for it, go and see some of the people that went there and read what they have to say about it as well. So yeah.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Next up, Kings of War 3. The momentum is building. And now we're about to learn about the Vanguard Undead Force. Jerry, do you want to take us through it, dude?
Can do, yeah. So this is the most recent of the Vanguard forces, which is for Mantic's skirmish game rather than Kings of War straight itself. And this brings 2 sets coming. So the initial one is the starter set, which is a mix of some of the plastics, so ghouls, zombies, skellybobs, but also the wraiths, which are Restic, and a new Archosaur necromancer as well.
Are they all one army then?
Yes.
Yes, for the skirmish game.
Yes.
Just to clarify, is it 10 units of that, or is it 10 times that model?
It's 10 times. Well, it's 10 models.
10 skeletons.
Yeah, 10 skeletons.
10 skeletons, 3 ghouls, 2
zombies.
Or
sorry, 3 zombies and 2 ghouls.
Oh, sorry, 3 zombies, 2 ghouls.
1 wraith.
1 wraith.
One
wraith.
and 1 lizard man.
And what does that make?
What does that make?
Yeah,
That's a skirmish
that is
force.
a skirmish warband.
Right.
Yeah. So the way Vanguard works is it's not a rank and flank game. It is a skirmish game, but they're meant to be special forces or sort of elites going in to do a specific thing before a major battle. So they might be going in to stop a messenger or to take over a specific point in the battlefield or find something of note. And there are actually hooks into Kings of War afterwards. So every game scenario has a hook if you want to progress it and to make like a story-linked campaign. So you can go, I'll play this game today, and then next time we're playing, I might get additional magic items, or I may get a bonus deployment zone, or whatever it happens to be to help you in the larger Kings of War games. So Vanguard works off smaller based forces. So that's the core set for the undead, and then there's also a booster set for reinforcing it, which contains things like the White, the Bat Swarm, the Gorger, or Gouger, and the Halfling Vampire, which is just so cute because he's a Halfling and a Vampire.
Which of these are new? Any of these models new?
All of them.
All of these models are new?
Yeah.
I love the guy with the coffin on his back.
He's nice because he can be used to raise dead rather than a necromancer raising it beside him. In a game of Vanguard, you can send the Gouger out in advance to start digging stuff up or dropping people off, and he can be used as like a mobile spawn point.
Here's your guy, Justin.
Justin, do you know what? We'll need to keep that in mind because whenever you're doing your fantasy army,
Right.
and you
Why are you volunteering?
No,
me for
listen.
this?
Whenever you're doing it and you want to get all the guys all raised, he can engorge them. Okay, which is always good.
Yeah, you
So
see,
that will help.
this is something
So-
Warren always projects.
I'm just trying to unlock your
it's your own
inner
projection, Warren. I think you need to talk to
I'm
somebody.
just trying to unlock your inner fun, Justin. You know,
I like this idea.
It's a frightening idea.
Any more?
There is.
Justin,
there's
hold on. What else have we got?
One more,
We've got-
two more
No,
images.
we have a couple more. Again, with reinforcements. So skeleton,
orcs.
So skeleton crossbow and zombie orcs.
Oh,
The key thing about the orcs is they're like heavy variant of the zombies.
Yeah.
So they're the ones you can chuck into the line and they take a little bit more damage. But the thing I really like about this is that we're seeing somebody putting out zombies that aren't just all of human descent. We're
yes.
seeing the zombies from all over the place because this is a fantasy world full of elves and orcs and all kinds of things. So
Also, the having the halfling vampire and the necromancer being some sort of unusual serpent creature. Although that just reminds me of the Pantheon serpent priests who are filth.
So let me clarify something. They're standing there on their own. Do you field them on their own, or they're like hero units? You don't put them inside units.
No, there are no units
Okay.
because it's an action based
proper
system.
skirmish.
It's a proper skirmish game.
Yeah.
So individuals now you can do grip commands in Vanguard if you've got the activation points essentially to do it. You can combine 2 or 3 people into a multiple charge, or if you've got say 3 skeleton crossbowmen. You can get them to fire simultaneously into something that maybe is just
Simultaneous attack.
suppressing fire. Suppressing fire.
What's next? Any
One
more?
We've got one more, which is a big beastie. Because sometimes when you're trying to raise things from the dead, it doesn't go particularly well. But that's no reason to get rid of those awesome bits of gribbly that you found.
Well,
Why not stitch them together?
Someone had fun with the staple gun.
Yeah. So
it very much reminded me of Bone Ripper, Thanquol's rat ogre from the old Warhammer world, especially with that blade above the shoulder blade.
I was thinking of Patchwork from World of Warcraft, where it's
That's
just
it,
a stitched horror. It's just what bits have we got? What can we make it into? If we just keep adding bits, that will equal out.
We could definitely add some more bits to that to get it into our fantasy army.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Justin, we could definitely add another
I
bit
like the
to
fact that Lloyd's now calling it our fantasy army. So you guys are now taking ownership. This is fine with me.
No, our collective royal we.
We're Justin, when you build that army, we're all right behind you. Okay?
I want everybody to feel proud of all the hard work that goes into it.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, you guys can do all the hard work you want to it.
Look, Justin, building this army is going to elevate you to
No, thank you.
to
I'm
new
good.
levels
I know what I
of
like.
ecstasy.
I don't like this.
So-
I don't want this. I'm fine. Go away. Go away.
Right, I think that does us for the news this week. Right,
Yeah.
we got some Kickstarters. Right,
Yes.
I want to pitch forward the first Kickstarter
Yes.
because it was sent to me by Jerry early this morning. Okay,
Oh, right. I've got these in the wrong order.
have you got them in the wrong order?
Yes.
Well, Ben,
read the running order.
we're going out of order because I have to get this Kickstarter in first. Okay.
Yeah.
This Kickstarter has the 2 things in life that every viewer will love. Okay. And it mashed them together so expertly that it has flown under our radar.
Nice.
But we've caught it. We've caught
we
it.
have.
Yeah. We hunted it down. It can only be one thing. The 2 loves of our lives, the 2 most amazing things in the world. It's Hero Quest and ducks.
I've been dying for a duck all week.
Oh,
Now,
no, that was shit.
I love duck. I think duck is amazing. It's
Whether it's Howard the Duck or
Oh, Howard the Duck was so good.
You
and
could
so bad.
you could set any duck down in front of me and I will consume that all day long. And then to have duck and Hero Quest merged into one mighty quacking experience, this is it. So this is the quack starter for Duck Quest. Just look at it. Now, if anybody is familiar with Hero Quest, this is truly the most I think the most amazing homage to Hero Quest since the last one. I love it. Look at it. Look at that. More ducks.
Duck in hell.
Well, as soon as I saw it, Lord, I thought, duck me.
Yeah.
This is amazing. I do actually love this. Look at Mort and Kenny.
I love the undead duck.
The minions of Morducks. Aren't they amazing?
I just love the fact he's gone through, because he has gone off book with these, the Children of the Corn, because Quoth is based on the Mordheim elf special character that they give away free, and that was the only way you could get it, was free with a white dwarf.
And your Sword of Twilight.
And the sword, Dolores is a Nurgle wizard. They did. So these have all been picked from weird things. So that's GW. That clearly is Assassin's Creed. Hafren is based on the Dwarf Lords of Legend Berserker, which I have somewhere. Russell, I don't get Russell. I'm guessing he's something. But he's clearly some sort of medieval-looking crossbow.
We need to know what Russell is.
Yeah. But he's gone. He's obviously got the core Hero Quest, and then has decided to go beyond that.
Clearly though, if you scroll up, right, these are no longer ducks, so that's clearly Russell Crowe. So,
Warren, get the pun. Children of the Corn.
But Russell Crowe,
that is Russell Crowe.
Okay.
In which case, it
Robin Hood.
may be him from the terrible Robin Hood film.
It might be. So keep going. What else have we got?
Man.
Oh, we've got the Turtle Warriors, man.
So this is the femur replacement.
Yep.
Oh yes. Oh, I love it. What a perfect replacement for the femur. So you've got. Slow down. You've got. Oh, these are all after the metal.
Yeah.
So you've got Kirk Hammett, Yngwie Malmsteen, Dimebag.
Darryl.
Scroll up. Who's up at the top then?
Hendrix.
And Jimi Hendrix. So that's the Metlers. Love it.
Magic Mushies.
Oh, okay.
George and Ringo.
Okay, sold. He has hit my spot twice. So the three things
Had me at shrooms.
that we love, I was gone with ducks and Hero Quest, but to add the mushrooms in there, man, you've totally got me now.
Mercenaries.
And then you've got the mercenaries. This is just amazing, this Kickstarter.
I'm digging it.
So
Okay, so look, I'm
Is that a dragon duck?
It
could be a quackatrice. What are you laughing at? That was amazing, and you know it.
It's actually for a campaign setting that they put together. So it's called Quack Keep, and so it's made as a campaign setting that will go with any role-playing game or skirmish game you might have, and you just play through the story of Quack Keep, but with whatever game you happen to enjoy the most, effectively.
And there's some deeply, deeply familiar-looking pieces of
I
resin
love
terrain
it.
coming.
Look at it.
If I scroll down, you'll see it a little better here.
Oh, come on. The sarcophagus, the chests, the thrones, love it. We need gold piles that the ducks can dive into. So it's
I'd like that.
guys, fantastic Kickstarter. I'm hoping a load of you will go over, show your support, but not too many. We don't want to overwork these guys. So it's like
it's nice, even though Star Hat runs out of I want to say Australia, but it might be New Zealand. But
I think it's New Zealand.
He has. He's teamed up with a couple of different companies. So Microcosm, who do the balls, actually.
That's Chris Nichols.
Yeah.
Good buddy of ours.
So he casts for the UK and Europe, and there's another group in America who cast there. So you don't have to worry about long shipping delays and taxes.
Or import taxes.
That's a clever idea.
So he's done it with his last couple, because I supported his last.
It's a clever idea, but it's only really doable on a smaller scale. And that's why I'm saying, back with them.
I think they're pretty okay, Warren.
Yeah, back with caution. No, man, this is going to blow up. That could be a £10 million Kickstarter right there.
I'd like to hope so.
And I'm just telling you, we don't want to do that. A couple of million is enough. Yeah. Okay,
They're
but they are fully funded. I'll give them that.
They're going to need a big, massive vault.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Huge vault to keep all their.
Huge vault.
But then maybe the creator can do the dive.
Yeah. So let's stay sensible. So I'm putting an orderly queue in place, and you're only allowed to back if you're actually going to complete the paint jobs on the ducks. So there you go. Love it. Yeah. Right. Next up, I have been admiring a dragon. I swear I saw a dragon. And this dragon has been in our office, and I have been eyeing it up this last while, going, holy smokes, that is a sculpt and a half.
The posing on this is nuts.
Right, so what I have to say about this dragon, firstly, the pose is utterly incredible. A more dynamic looking dragon pose I don't believe I have ever seen. I think it is a wonderful view of a dragon in full attack. That's first thing I have to say about it.
Mm-hmm.
Second thing I have to say about it is the detail on the resin is absolutely superb.
Let's get a look at it again.
I haven't seen a single soft detail on it at all.
Mm-hmm.
Everything so far in the version that we have been looking at has come out crisp and just as you would have expected it off the master.
I'm trying to be careful with this because it is a single connection point to this base warren, which is the fire.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, it is a proper model. Now there's a few you'll notice maybe a couple of wee gaps here and there, but it has been floating around in here for a little while now. But there's nothing in there that you couldn't fill, or perhaps it's just loosened up a little bit as we have been moving it around. The dragon itself comes from Signum Games, and it's part of a Kickstarter called Dragon Hunters. Mm-hmm. Ben, what can you tell us about it, mate?
Cool. So this is Dragon Hunters, which is a 2-player game primarily, but it can also be played in solo mode or with 4 players instead. The idea of it is that you're either going to be taking on the role of one of the heroes or the dragon itself, and you will be trying to, as the heroes, plunder all the gold you can from the dragon's store and run away with it without dying in the process, also taking down the dragon at the same time. And obviously, if you're playing the dragon, your focus on is destroying these heroes before they can take all of your hard-earned gold, which probably wasn't very hard-earned. If you play it in solo mode, you take on the role of the hunters and you take down the dragon, which is sort of driven by sort of AI deck, which is kind of cool. And if you play it 4-player, things change up a little bit, so it makes it a little bit more competitive, where 1 player takes on the role of the dragon, and then all the other players at the table take on the role of one of the hunters. And the whole idea is that you're trying to take down the dragon and steal all the treasure, but you want to be the one at the end of the game who gets away with the most loot. So there might be some situations that arrive where you're like, I really need your help in doing this, defeating this sort of dragon minion that's trying to take me down. And you're like, yeah, okay, well, yeah, but I've got 4 bags of gold on me and I don't really want to risk it. So you can dive that guy. It's fine. So yeah, there's kind of interesting sort of semi-cooperative element to it there, which is really cool. It looks pretty awesome. I believe we've got a gameplay video up on the website where Ryan and Sam sat down to play through the game together, sort of get a feel for it all. So if you want to see how it plays in a little bit more depth, you can dive in and check that out. But the guys at
the show notes,
the guys at Signum Games have done some really awesome sculpts in the past. So they've done some really good models and things for a lot of their other stuff they've been building, because they have their own game as well, which is called Legends of Singham, and it kind of blends together board games and miniatures games, which is really awesome. So go and check that out as well. But yeah, looks really cool, and that dragon is stunning.
It is incredible. It is an absolutely incredible dragon. The model is beautiful. There's no doubt about it. Okay, so there's about 19 days left, I believe, on that Kickstarter. So if you go and check it out, if you're a fan of the dragons, definitely want to look out. Next up, we have a Kickstarter that's ending shortly. 5 days left, we believe, on this one, and this is Sleeping Gods by Red Raven Games. Now, this one's doing very, very well on Kickstarter, Ben. What can you tell us about this?
So this is from Red Raven Games, which is basically a really awesome publishing arm for a lot of the games that come from Ryan Laukat, who is an absolutely stunning creator. He's done loads of games in the past, like Above and Below and Near and Far, which are really amazing. They bring in this beautiful art style, which really suffuses everything that he does. And the whole sort of premise behind a lot of the stuff that Ryan does is that they are open world storybook style games. So you go to places, you open a big massive book, you read through a sort of like a paragraph of text, and then you make a decision on it, and that influences everything you do in the future. And effectively, Sleeping Gods takes everything to the 9th degree. So you're going to be playing as a captain, Sophia, Odessa, and her crew. So you'll be doing this as a group. And you'll be trying to survive and explore mysterious islands as you've sort of been teleported through this rift in time and space. And you're trying to get home by sort of working out all the different strange, weird, magical things going on in the world. And so this means that you'll be going through the story, going to all these different islands, meeting different characters, engaging in this deep story that will hopefully never go the same way twice, which would be pretty cool. The actual the sort of storybook itself is like a huge novel-length style affair, which should lead to a 10 to 20 hour campaign. So if you're worried about getting any sort of game shelf life out of your stuff, well, there's 10 to 20 hours, so there's loads of stuff here. And there's one of the cool things that I think is really good about this is that, well, two things actually. The first of these is that there's choice and consequence in this. So when you make a choice, that sticks with you throughout the rest of the game. So if you decide to help somebody or not help someone, that will come back to haunt you later on, or maybe help you in a way. And the other cool thing is that they've implemented card-based combat. So it's very deterministic. You know exactly what you need to defeat the enemy, and so you have to sort of plan things out in advance. And there's no sort of like poor luck of the dice or anything like that, which is really cool. So there's some really nice things in there, sort of taking from the Euro game side of things to kind of make this game a little bit bigger and more intense, a little bit more thinky as well, a little bit more tactical. But yeah. Ryan Lankap does some amazing games. I know Lance is a big fan of what Red Raven do, and with good due, because they are absolutely fantastic games, full of beautiful artwork and lovely stories and things to tell. And I believe there's an expansion as part of this Kickstarter as well. So if you didn't think that 10 to 20 hours was enough, there's also a new expansion called Tides of Ruin, which sort of adds into this as well. So yeah.
Well, you say 10 to 20 hours. Obviously, there'll be replayability in that. If the decisions you make then affect the rest of the game.
Yeah.
So if you play it again, you'll make different decisions. You'll have a different sort of feel as well before you even get onto the expansions.
Yeah, so there should be hopefully lots of replay value in here, which is pretty awesome. So
I find it best to let Sleeping Gods lie.
It's an incredible looking game. There's no doubt about it.
It's absolutely beautiful.
That is your lot. If you fancy helping out the Sleeping Gods, go and check it out. 5 days left. Right, we are done. We'll be back tomorrow morning over on Tabletop.com. We've got some cool stuff to do, including the dwarf army that we're reaching out to the community to talk about. We'll get some decisions made. As a community, we're going to take that army forward because it has been a community project where the wonderful Lena and Tony have been painting it up. The painted stuff has arrived in the studio. We're ready to show it off. It's great. And now you guys get to help us make some decisions on where we go next with it. We will see you then. If you fancy it, remember you can take a Cult of Games free trial. If you come over and create an account over at ontabletop.com, free account, you'll get an email with the 7-day guide. In there should be a link to take a 7-day free trial. Remember to check out Ready, Steady, Puke. You will never regret it in your life because you get to see the magnificent Jerry eating all sorts. And on that note, thank you, Lloyd, Justin, Ben, Jerry. It's been a pleasure. And most importantly, thank you guys at home. This has been your Weekender. Go ahead and check out our other content on screen now. And while you're at it, why not hit subscribe and remember to ding our dong. Go on, you know you want to click it. Go on.